4 upcoming Warhammer games 2023 to 2024, because there wasn't enough for a top 5. Number 4, Blood Bowl 3. BB3 is the third installment in the Blood Bowl series made by Cyanide Studios. The lore is where all factions decide to play American football instead of fighting. It's based on the well-known miniatures board game Blood Bowl, where you would put 2 teams against each other trying to score in each other's end zones. The game essentially transforms that into a turn-based strategy sports video game version with the latest set of rules, overhauled passing mechanics and new skills. You can choose from 12 different races from the old world, which gives you a nice diversity, from Skaven and Dwarfs to the new factions such as Black Orcs, the Old World Alliance and 2 others. You can play any of these in a solo campaign, and the game also offers new customization for coaches, armour worn by players and cheerleaders. The standard edition for the game costs £24.99, but the game does seem to have different editions. The developers have said they aim to add new content over a 3-month time period with new factions, customization and features. I've personally never played any of the Blood Bowl games as it's not my type of game, but it might be worth doing your own research on the first 2 in the series before playing the third. It will be launching on the 23rd of February 2023 on PC, Xbox, PlayStation and Switch will be at a later date. Number 3, Boltgun. Boltgun takes you back into the days of your youth to imagine what it would have been like to have a 1993 Doom but in Warhammer. The trailer doesn't give much away, but it's fair to assume they're aiming for that genre. The game is being developed by All Rock Digital, and the description is a boomer shooter. You are going to be playing a retro first-person shooter with satisfying gunplay, high mobility, and bucket loads of blood. Almost similar to Hired Gun in that respect. From what it seems, you take control as an Ultramarine fighting against the forces of Chaos Space Marines, Demons of Chaos, or Undivided Chaos, such as Marines, Nurglings, Cultists, blue and pink horrors shown so far. The weapons we've seen are the bolt gun, hence the name, melter gun, and the chainsword, but they do express you'll have access to a devastating arsenal. From the small amount of environment shots we see in the trailer, we can see Mark III armour statues and Heresy pattern bolt guns. It would be nice if the game maybe goes in a different direction and talks more about the Horus Heresy, but I guess we'll see. We know nothing about the story, mechanics or price, just that the game is going to release in 2023. I feel if the game launches with a great soundtrack, is not too overpriced and some decent game time, it will win over the hearts of both retro and Warhammer gamers alike. Number 2, Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader is a classic computer role-playing game set in the universe of Warhammer 40k. It's being made by Owlcat Games, who are the people who made Pathfinder, so this could be a great story game with combat mixed in. The game has you play as your Lord Captain, Rogue Trader, or pirate in command of a void ship in the Cronus Expanse. This is a very unique point of view to be playing because most games have you as an Astartes or somebody on the front line in combat against demons and Xenos. A Rogue Trader point of view allows for many different types of gameplay, from being diplomatic, scheming, plots, or just combat. Since Rogue Traders are essentially voyagers beyond the Imperium to uncharted areas, they basically have unlimited authority, and this really gets me excited because the game can honestly go in any direction. Finding uncharted or lost worlds to the Imperium that have fallen to darkness after the Great Crusade and bringing them under your control. There can be many different types of threats, from Xenos, Chaos, Dark Mechanicum, and I'm sure many more. They've already described void ship battles and navigating the warp in their dev diary, also that decisions will impact gameplay. For example, you might liaise with Xenos and be considered heretical for this action, compromise with Chaos to gain an advantage that could lead to the Inquisition getting further involved. You might test and push your crew to a limit, or neglect a conquered world. They all have impact on the gameplay. I did personally manage to play some of Rogue Trader's Alpha, not a great deal though, because working in the NHS currently is busy as fuck and time to play games is non-existent. But from the little amount I did play, I noticed you can talk to most characters, ask about their backstories, also certain decisions do impact gameplay, the combat is turn-based with a cover system. You and your enemy will take turns using different characters to attack or interact using abilities. The combat did feel a bit overwhelming due to all the abilities that you can use, but I'm sure with time this will become second nature. From the environment shots we've seen, the game is going to be taking place in a number of locations, diving deep into the universe of Warhammer 40k. You'll also be utilising and recruiting companions as you play, such as a Sister of Battle, a Tech Priest, an Eldar Ranger, a Psyker or a Space Wolf, and many more. The game has no release date yet, but I believe it is still early in development. I imagine the release date will be early 2024, but you can join their Discord to keep updated and offer feedback. I'm actually more excited for the lore and story of Rogue Trader than the combat, but I can't wait to see what they have.
In these dark reaches, the Emperor's light is faint. It is the Rogue Trader's duty to navigate through this dangerous unknown. For they have the power to feed the Emperor's flame, or to plunge millions of worlds into darkness.
Number 1. Space Marine 2. Everyone and their nan has been waiting for Titus to return for a sequel, and now he is, crossing the Rubicon and becoming a lieutenant. The game is being developed by Saber Interactive, and we've got the usual PR, we're Warhammer fans and we want the best for the game, but Space Marine can't cut corners anywhere. I did make a more in-depth retrospective about Space Marine, outlining what is needed in a sequel to make a Space Marine game. However, I can already see the main one is there. Space Marine 2 is aiming to be an action blockbuster. The game will focus on you playing Titus to secure a very important objective, ignoring the struggle going on around you. You'll notice buildings collapsing and thousands of Tyranids in the background attacking. There will be action set pieces, most likely with boss battles where you will gain new weapons as you reach those areas. The story will have a few characters, but the main focus will be around the two companions you have that will stir up the dialogue and question your actions. We can see they're going to have motion capture even for the faces, so I assume it's going to be a big part of the game. We know the first enemy is the Tyranids. From what we've seen, High Fleet Leviathan with Termagants, Hormagaunts and Warriors, possible Tyranid Primes as well. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if we do see new Tyranid biolifeforms in the game. Obviously, we're still playing as the Ultramarines. We can see a new form of Mark 10 armour with a jump pack in one of the trailers. Gravis armour was also teased in the background of another trailer. Space Marine 2 has no release date currently other than 2023 on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. There is a collector's edition which you can pre-order, which is nice, but I feel we need to see more of the game first. My biggest concerns currently is the game being ready on launch, the multiplayer PvP, and cosmetics required to be purchased, but I guess we'll have to see.
We are the angels of death. We are the blade drawn against the endless night. Nothing will survive our wrath.
Of course, special thanks to the Patreons as always. I think this year I'm going to plan on having a few smaller, more digestible videos on the channel, and hopefully I'll be able to get the VR working as well. It's been Poncha, take care.